Wow, what a performance.
Well, at Dover, again, we were 4 players short. Because again, the way we've set the teams up each pre-season is to not let everybody see all of our strengths and whatever, because obviously at this time of the season you'll get clubs and not knocking them, our friends at Folkestone and Maidstone and clubs come in, offering big money and steal your best players. So you don't want to show your hand too early, and you don't want to show everything you've got. We're confident in what we put together, and Kevin's very confident in what he's put together. And it was just a question of making sure all of the boys have had a run out, all the boys have played, and we know the strengths, we know our weaknesses, and so
but
I think it's been balanced.
I'm biased, but I thought we were just as good as Dover, and they're 2 weeks ahead of us.
Well, the thing is, what we did, we set out the game against Dover. We played some lovely attacking football. Obviously, went 1 up, well deserved. I really felt for Danny Parrish, because Danny could have had a couple of goals. How that keeper saved one of them, and then one of the goals came off of the centre back's knee. He didn't even know anything about it. Got deflected. It was going in. Dan was going to celebrate, and it come off his knee. And it was like, well. But as I pointed out to Dan afterwards, he worked really hard. He got in amongst it, made the chances, and in all fairness, it was a bit of a mistake at the back to gift him a goal. Yeah. It was lovely to see George Nicard, who listen. We trained. Yeah. we brought
one of our own.
One of our own. We brought him on. No, it was lovely to see George score as well. Yeah. But we played some great football, and. You would expect Dover to probably knock 3 or 4 past us comfortable. Well, they didn't find it comfortable, and afterwards, obviously, when I spoke to them, they thought that we really put up a good performance.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
it. But the thing is, you know what? Although we lost, when Derek and I walked away from there, we both looked at each other and said the same thing. That was enjoyable.
And the fans were exactly the same behind the goal.
And you know what? In the past, last season, we won games, and we come away and won 2-0. And I said to Derek, that was awful, wasn't it? Wasn't it awful? Wasn't entertaining. Yeah. And bearing in mind, I had 2 pairs of socks to iron, which I could have done and not gone to the football.
And there's a couple of other faces that we've seen playing as well. One's Lewis Knight.
He's signed. He's one of our players.
Brilliant.
Lewis obviously good signing, strong centre back.
Margate was he before?
Yeah. But the thing is, you see, we've got some very good players, but we've also got some players that've got history of maybe getting suspensions. And listen, I love Ben Gorham to bits. I love Ben to bits, and he won't mind me saying, but. Listen, he plays with passion, wears his heart on his sleeve, he gives 100% every game. You couldn't ask for any more. And you know what, the way that the referee's going, anyone that shows a bit of passion, and it's almost like they're getting condemned for aggressive play, and they're not. They're just passionate about the football. They're not sort of like it's not netball.
And the fans love Ben for it.
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, one thing we did find last season was that in critical positions, when you do lose key players like Ben, then all of a sudden you've got a hole. And then you'll see it's not no surprise that maybe the next 2 games we might struggle.
Yeah.
So this season we've got midfield, defence, a forward line, and we've got a mixture of players that can come in and do a job, and it's balanced.
And we've still got Johan, who I'm sure will work really well with Kevin to come back.
Yeah.
And obviously Tarek as well.
Tarek should be back in September.
Yeah.
So it's not. He's had his work done on his leg and his knee and his ankle. So he should be back he's light training, so he's all right. But he comes. You know what? He comes to most games. He comes every training session. You know what? what a player, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Loyal to the club,
And
fantastic.
everybody notices that.
And he's a great player. We know how good he is, and on his day, he's the best wing back in the business,
Yeah.
you know.
And then there was a face on Tuesday night that we weren't aware was going to have a game. Noah Carney.
Noah Carney. Well, Noah. We wanted Noah here. He's an Ashford lad, as everybody will know. He's from Ashford, the same as George Nikaj. And when we wanted to borrow a player from Dover, Noah Carney was the player that we was going to bring.
Oh, okay.
But what happened was Noah got injured. He got injured just before his coming, so we ended up with George, which wasn't a bad thing.
What a disaster that was, isn't it?
It wasn't a bad thing. We ended up with George.
Yeah.
And of course, Noah is a free agent. Noah, I mean, I think he had trials with the pro club. It hasn't come off yet. And he wants to play. And so he rang Kevin back and said that he knows he's going to be playing. So he would like to join us. And listen, the lad is a great footballer, and I think that he will get. If anyone remembers our old friend Max Waters, Max Waters wouldn't sign a contract, but we said, listen, Max, play as much as you can for us because you are going to get a pro contract, and obviously he did. But we was obviously very disappointed when he went. But
that's the level.
But that's the level, and he deserved it, you know, and he earned it. And now, obviously, with his contract at Barnsley, he's doing really, really well.
Yeah.
He does send us messages now and
moved,
again.
isn't it? Again from Cardiff.
Yeah. Well, Cardiff had his contract, and but Cardiff have sold him to Barnsley because at Barnsley he'll be playing all the time. So, and he's a good player. He's a very, very good player, Max, and a lovely, lovely boy, you know.
So let's hope for the same with Noah.
Well, Noah, we know
He's only young, isn't he?
Noah is very young, you know, and obviously he was a Kennington lad of juniors, not seniors. He was a Kennington junior. He's from Ashford, therefore he'll have a little bit of loyalty and respect for the club, which is great. But he just wants to play football, and do you know what? If he plays for us for 6 weeks and a pro club comes in and gives him a great deal,
Good luck to him.
good luck to him, because that's our job. Non-league, unfortunately. We cry about it, we kick the cat and we think, oh, you know, we've lost the player. But we cannot stop these boys, the young uns, going on to better things, because that's what grassroots is all about.